Hi everybody, just want to show you another instrument that's coming out of the workshop today. This is a bass for an artist, local artist, who's just got an album out with his band Kingdom Keys and wanted something to use on the road. He's a 5-string player. I'm afraid I'm not, so demoing it is going to be a little bit, well, it's going to be a bit rough. It's basically a P-bass type design. It's 34 inches long. He's been playing P-basses in the studio, a 5-string P-bass in the studio for some time, and wanted something that was going to replicate the feel of that, but with a different body shape and something a little bit more individual. And he'd sort of taken some inspiration from the Midheaven guitar that I was making last year, quite like the general look and feel of the offset design. And so together we designed this. And it's a very basic instrument. Very simple. He's a kind of no-nonsense player. Doesn't want a lot of switches and knobs. Just a volume and a tone. Passive P-bass pickup. Overwound. You can hear it's a real fat sort of a sound. The reason being, of course, is that he's on stage quite often a pick player, and he wants something that's going to give him still got a big fat bottom end when he hits it with a pick. Being 5-string, we also went for a 4-in-1 head. Which is very much like the Midheaven head. Obviously rosewood fingerboard, like a Gibson style fret. Strange enough, it's about a Les Paul fret, not too big, but not the Fender micro fret for bass. Just that's pretty much the size that's actually on his P bass, I think. So it's all front loaded. Everything's underneath the scratch plate. Obviously, like a P-bass, the scratch plate here doesn't really hold the pickups at all. So you can get to the electronics just by pulling that off, and you can get to it on the road pretty quickly to service it if you ever did need to. It's got a Biflex truss rod here, a two-part truss rod. I always fit a two-part truss rod to everything, but especially to 5-string basses, because the amount of tension you've got with a 5-string bass for how much wood you're containing it on, you can get into trouble pretty quickly if they start to go wrong on you without some serious reinforcement. And that's it really. It's a very simple design. If I hit it with a pick, you'll hear why he wants that big bottom end. So you can hear that percussive edge that you get from the pick is sort of quite balanced with that big fat bottom end from this very overwound Alnico 5 pickup. With my fingers, it can be subtle, but it's still quite a beast. It's plugged into an Ampeg simulator, by the way, which probably doesn't help. That's probably a little bit aggressive as well. But now if I roll a little tone off, it gets quite jazzy. Now the Ampeg doesn't show it off great because it's a bit of a rocker, but all in all, very pleased with the way it's turned out. The balance has turned out nice, and it was very much an experimental design because we hadn't built a bass on this design, and I very rarely build 5-string basses as well. Most of my bass playing customers generally tend to be rather old-fashioned 4-string players, and so it was a bit of a departure to build a 5-string of this sort of nature. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next time.